filming now.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we're starting then.
Yes, we starting.
And you are the first guest on the Artifacts podcast.
Thank you very much.
And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so you're gonna have to talk. You're gonna have to help me right the way through.
Well, yeah, am I going to do the interview?
Well, I mean, I'm not much of an interviewer, I don't think. So I'm just going to talk bollocks to you, and then you can just fill in the gaps. Right, I've got a load of questions here, but I know most of these, so I don't really need to fucking ask you the questions. So,
yeah.
Go on then. So, how did you grow up?
How did I grow up? Anyway,
is that an intro that you would normally do, or would someone say to you?
I don't know if they would say.
Tell us a little bit about.
Hello, this is Julius Francis. Blah blah blah. Whatever. I hopefully people will know my face.
Well, don't worry. We're gonna put it on. We're gonna put it on it. We're gonna say this is gonna say Julius Francis interview at the Artifacts or whatever it's gonna be.
Yeah. How I grew up. I was born in South London. I'm South London born and bred. Camberwell, Peckham. That's where I originally was born. Then moved to Abbey Wood when I was very young. So grew up in Abbey Wood for the first few years of my life. So we grew up right next door, right at the border of Abbey Wood was.
Is that Thamesmead?
Yeah.
Yeah, Abbey Wood is Thamesmead, yeah?
No. Abbey Wood is Abbey Wood, Thamesmead is Thamesmead.
Right, and that's like a new development.
Thamesmead was a new town. It was
right.
So 1971 is when Thamesmead, I think 1970 or 71 was when Thamesmead was first coming out of the ground.
Right.
I think it was then, but that's how I remember it. And my dad was a tower crane driver.
Tower crane driver.
Did
he work on the estate then?
Yeah.
Did he work on building that?
So I think he'd moved from where he was living, or where we was living back then, to Abbey Wood to work, basically just across the road, you know. That's what I remember. So there was me, my oldest sister Joanne, my younger brother Amos, and my younger sister Marcia. So there was four of us. My mum and dad. We lived in a maisonette on, it was Godstow Road, 139 Godstow Road. I will never forget that address, because that's it's just ingrained. And I actually went back there a few years ago. I hadn't been back there for like 40 odd years, and went back there. And
was it weird?
It was weird.
Was it eerie?
It was strange, because my sister still lives in Thamesmead, so in the new part of Thamesmead. So going back there and seeing because she told me that they'd knocked down the old Thamesmead, and everything what I knew and grew up seeing and remembering, it was all gone.
Was everything gone?
Everything, like on the Thamesmead side. But the place where the masonette where I lived, that's still there. The three masonettes are still there. The grass and the big playing field that we used to play on.
Your masonette was still there?
Yes. Yeah. That's. I don't think, as far as I can see and tell, I don't think they'll ever knock down that part of Abbey Wood. I don't think that'll ever change. Was it tough growing up in four kids in a masonette? What was it? A 2-bedroom masonette? 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom.
Yeah. Masonette. So obviously me and my brother shared. My sister and my youngest sister and my oldest sister shared. And a lot of what I remember, there was, we had our friends there. We had obviously our neighbours and friends on a couple of neighbours on the same landing as us, and then the ones downstairs. And the ones on either side of on either other block, And I had a lot of good times there.
Was you naughty? Was you a naughty kid?
Was I a naughty kid? I don't know if you could say I was a naughty kid, because what is naughty as a kid? We had a lot more free time, or not free time, but a lot more time to get in trouble. And a lot more, we as kids, we were a lot freer.
Was your mum and dad strict?
I don't know. What was strict? because it was sometimes the case of, and as we did in the 70s, growing up in the 70s, then was don't get home before the lights came on.
Yeah.
So you could be literally, and I
well,
like,
don't get home, or you only had to.
You had to be home. You had to be home before
when the lights come on.
Yeah.
When
if the lights were on before, when you was in trouble. And like, more often than not, I was out until the early hours of the morning.
Where did your mum and dad both come from? Jamaican?
So, no, my mum was Jamaican and my dad is St. Lucian.
Right, and was your dad stricter than your mum?
Both West Indian. Well, he was more hands-on, definitely.
Right.
My dad was more hands-on and my mum was a very, as I remember, always smiling, always singing.
She was chilled out?
But she had her issues as well. My dad, as a kid, there's this big man, and I will say my dad wasn't in the home maybe for a few years of my early life. When I was like, as I remember saying, from the age of 7, from 7 till 10 when I was actually put into care at 10 years old. But before then, my dad was in and out of the house. He weren't always there.
And then you said that your mum had some issues.
Yeah, my mum had mental health issues as well. But that stemmed from as kids we used to get letters from abroad, or my mum would get letters from abroad. So you'd see this blue envelope, really thin paper blue envelope that would come from Jamaica. So my mum would get this letter, read the letter, and obviously for now I wouldn't never know what was in it. But she would say and talk about her children in the West Indies, in Jamaica. So, but as a kid,
did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, yeah.
Right,
my mum had children in Jamaica.
Right.
She had four children in Jamaica. So as a kid, I grew up thinking I'm the second of 4.
Right.
But actually, I'm the 5, 6, the 6 of 8.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the 6th one of 8. From my mum.
Right.
You know? So my mum would talk about her children in Jamaica, and as a kid you go, yeah, we've got brothers and sisters, and then you walk out the door
and forget about it.
Yeah. So, and that's, like, as a kid you go,
Did you ever meet your brothers and sisters in Jamaica?
No.
Right.
Because never met them.
Did your brothers or sisters ever meet them either? So none of you had met them?
No. I have spoken, this was a few years ago, to one of them, one of my elder sisters. But, the sad thing is, because they've lived their life and we've lived our life completely apart from each other, not knowing each other. And
did that even when you was boxing, when you had that massive fight? Did any of them get in contact with you?
No, because funnily enough, before then, there was nothing. We had no contact or.
So did you not even
none
know
whatsoever?
them?
No.
Right, nothing at all then.
No, because you don't actually. You think, my mum maybe had kids in Jamaica, which was not necessarily the first thing you think about.
No.
But then my younger sister, was trying to do some research, and one of my nieces was doing some research.
Did your dad meet her in Jamaica then?
No, my dad met my mum over here. So my mum came here, obviously to work. My dad came over he was coming over because he had a brother over here, his older brother and I think older sister were over here already. He came over and worked, and that's how they met, I suppose, my mum and dad met.
And so, up until that point, when you were taken into care, was your dad around at that point?
He was around, but we never necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say that he was actually in the home.
Okay.
A lot,
So, when you was like 10, you went into care then?
Yeah. So I went into care at 10, at the age of 10. That was me. My older sister, unfortunately for my older sister, she was diabetic.
Right.
So she lived, or she wasn't always in the house with us. So because she was ill, she'd have to go, and especially at that time in the 70s, I don't think they knew a lot about diabetes or whatever. So she would always be carted off in hospital, spend weeks in hospital at a time. And then she was kind of more put into homes where they could deal with her situation.
Right.
Which was,
So was she older than you?
Yeah, we're all of us a year apart.
So you goes your oldest sister.
Then me.
Then you.
Then my younger brother.
Yeah, and then your younger sister.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
was that when you went into was you all together or not?
When we went into care the first time, we was all together. But my oldest sister, she was somewhere else, and then we came together, like with the foster family that we eventually stayed with, and the Harrington family who we eventually stayed with. And I'm obviously still in contact with my foster brother Neil. So, and we had good times.
And that was a happy place.
So for me, yeah. So for me personally, I was there from the age of 10 till roughly 16.
Right.
Roughly about 16, yeah.
So your adolescent years was spent there
in care, yeah.
And in one foster home with the
Yes,
Harringtons.
yeah.
Right. Did that give you a bit of stability there, and you fell into
then
like?
I felt, and I look back now and understand that if I hadn't gone there, I would have been a completely different person. I would have been a statistic. How do you say it?
Statistic.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
I would have definitely been that.
Right.
100%.
Right.
Because of the way that I was treated as a kid by my dad. My dad was quite hands-on, and I think he was quite hands-on with me because I was the eldest son. My oldest sister was a sickly child, as they would say. My brother, a lot of the time, saw the beatings that I got and kept out of the way.
Completely swerved. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my youngest sister, obviously, I felt at that time that she was the spoiled child,
right?
Daddy's girl. But we've talked now because now my older sister's passed. She passed 20 years ago now. And then my younger brother, MRC, passed 2019.
Right.
So, so it's me and my youngest sister, and we've talked a lot. And there's things that I've learned about her and things that happened to her that I was even very much oblivious to.
So when you was 16, you come out of care.
I moved from that foster home to, then I went kind of like hostels and different other places, and then another foster family, and then came out of care at 18 to a bedsit. They gave me a bedsit.
But your younger brother and sister were still in care.
Still in care. They were still in care. My sister, my youngest sister, she actually didn't stay with us in our foster home, me and my brother's foster home.
Right.
She went and moved with another family member, one of my dad's sisters.
So when you come out at 18, they gave you a bedsit.
Yeah.
And then your brother and sister were still in care.
They were still in care, yeah.
Was you seeing your dad at that point?
Yeah, because
bits and pieces.
Yeah, and then I actually started working. Like he actually got me a job working on the building site.
Okay.
He was like obviously still doing as a tower crane driver, but he got me a job at the building site.
And then when at that point, when was it that Was your mum was still around at
No,
the time?
my mum had died. My mum actually died when I was just turned 15.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was another very traumatic time because I was the one that found her. So, yeah, that was a...
You weren't living where
No,
we was in
care.
care.
So it was, you know, I look back at that time and I sometimes feel bitter, but then I sometimes feel, you know, it was the best thing for me. And then because what my foster parents and social workers and all them would say, that my mum had, like, she suffered with mental health issues. And they would say, we got to stay away from her. I went to school in Abbey Wood.
Right.
And my mum lived maybe a mile and a half down the road.
Right.
20-minute walk or whatever it was.
So did you go and see her?
And no, because they said I couldn't see her,
right.
So I didn't. Which was very... Now I look back on it, it was crazy. But I did what I was told, kind of thing.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
That was a traumatic time.
Oh, it was, yeah. Without actually realising how traumatic it was and what the effects maybe were.
Well, you just dealt with it at that
time. Yeah.
And your brother?
Kind of just got on with it.
He kind of got on with it as well?
Yeah, I think we all did. Just got on with it.
Did your dad at that point come back in and say, do you want to, listen, I'll take you back, I'll come back into it? No? That wasn't an option?
No, my dad had, obviously he had his, met a lady and kind of was living his life.
Is that the lady who's still with you?
Yes. Right. Yeah. So
your stepmom?
Became my stepmom, yeah, she married my dad. Yes, they had, she had 2 children, 2 daughters, and yeah, my dad went and kind of built his life.
So that was never an option anyway, to move back in with your dad?
No, that was never.
But
then you know, as a 10, 11, 12, 13, you're thinking, you know, my dad used to come every now and again to our foster parents, and at weekends maybe we'd get taken down to my aunt's to go see my sister. Right. My oldest sister was in the home, so we didn't see her a lot. And then you kind of live your life going, oh yeah, is this how... What it is, yes.
Is this the way it's going to be?
Because you're a teenager and you're not in charge of anything.
No. Did you feel any responsibility for the young two? Did you feel like you're the man of the family?
No. I was never given that kind of responsibility.
Right.
Never given that kind of responsibility of actually saying, right. I knew that I'm stronger than my brother, because I was the one who was always getting in trouble and fighting. I was fighting in school and getting in trouble. My brother was at the time he was very kind of passive, very inward person.
Yeah.
You know, but very deep thinker, my brother, and very, very intelligent. He was very intelligent. I don't know. I never got it. I never got the intelligence. I got the hard work.
I thought you'd just been it too much.
Yeah, but I was that was me. I think anything I was given, like my dad would say to me, to come down to the outside space where he parked his car and help him work on his car. Yeah. That to me I was all over that.
Right.
Fantastic, because I'd be around my dad.
Yeah.
And I'd be doing stuff with the car and pressing the brakes and pressing the gear and revving the car up and all this. That to me was, but my brother was never into any of that kind of stuff.
So when did you start? You were fighting at school.
Yeah.
But when did you start taking up fighting as a hobby or a sport?
Long after I left school.
Long after you left school?
Yeah, I was always in trouble at school. I was always in trouble at school and I always used to fight in school.
So I was saying to you, was you a naughty kid? You sound like you were a naughty kid.
No, but then if you've got peer pressure, right? So the peer pressure was, I'm black, I live with a white family.
Right, yeah.
I go to school now to my.
And is that still in Abbey Wood?
Yes, right. To my senior school now. So the black kids are looking at me and going, "Why do you talk like that?" Because I'm very cockney.
Yeah.
But you're black. And the white kids are looking at me going, "We don't want anything to do with you because you're black."
So
when
was this? Is this mid-70s?
Early 70s. No, late 80s, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. It was, yeah.
Right, and then was there a lot of racism at that point in time?
When
did you feel it?
When I was younger, obviously growing up around Abbey Wood as a kid, you don't know it, and because you don't know what racism is.
No.
So you just know that you're different, or you think that you're different, but you just think, oh, right, you know? The neighbours don't like us because.
Did the kids? Did you have? Any
No, we had
for any reason?
No. Generally, it was the thing was that we had fights with.
Abbey Wood and that was like a melting pot, though, weren't it?
Yes, but we had. If you was from Thamesmead, you was from the wrong estate.
Yeah, yeah.
The kids in Thamesmead thought they was better than the kids in Abbey Wood.
Right.
Because they lived in newer, posher, prettier houses,
Yeah.
so they thought,
Yeah.
or so we thought.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. Abbey Wood kids and Thamesmead kids fighting. But we used to go over to Thamesmead all the time because they had the best parks.
Right, got you.
You know, they had the park, they had the Thamesmead Lake. It was nice. It was nice over there. And
did you have pals in Thamesmead as well?
I wouldn't say we had pals in Thamesmead. We had rivals and kids that, and yeah, you could make a camp. You could make a camp and out of all the building stuff. Right. And that was, you know, like they might come in and bring a potato and cook a potato on the.
Wouldn't you have had kids from going and it's got the same school who lived in Thamesmead though? Or was it completely?
No, separated? It did. I think it seemed completely different. The kids in Abbey Wood, I was actually, when I went to Abbey Wood school, I was living in Plumstead at the time. So my foster parents lived in Plumstead, but I wanted to go to Abbey Wood school because I knew that area and I knew some people, you know, because I went to primary school there as well. So it was kind of. When I was in school, yes, I used to fight a lot because there was that thing that we had the start of what I now know to be the racism. Plus, we had the gypsy site that used to be on Abbey. It's still there on Abbey Wood.
Yeah.
But the gypsy rivalry, like the traveller community, and then just generally. I was a bit loud and brash. And
was you flash?
I wouldn't say no. I could never say I was flash because I never had the best clothes or the best trainers or anything like that. I just was.
If there was gonna be a row, was you always the one that someone picked? Like no matter where you're walking down the street, someone like you or the geezer, you just tracked it.
After I left school, definitely. After I left school, definitely that used to seem to be the way.
Because when you was at school, you weren't built like you are
now. No.
You were slender. Slender,
I was
tall,
a twig, yeah.
Like skinny.
Yes.
But
I never got any or felt that I had any kind of size or got any build until when I left school and I started working on I first left school and we did maybe it was the start of the stuff where you went to did apprenticeships kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
And then I did worked with my foster parents' brother. My foster parents' brother had a building firm, so I used to get a day off of school on a Friday to go and work on this. It was a kind of like work program.
Right.
You know, I used to get a couple of quid a week for that.
And when you were doing that, was your younger brother? Did he ever come?
He was still at school.
He was still at school.
Yeah, he was still at school. Yeah. The thing with my younger brother, the thing with Amos hated manual labour.
Okay.
He wasn't never going to be anything.
Would he do anything he could to get out of it?
Not anything he could to get out of it. He just wasn't. Manual labour was not his thing.
Right.
You know, you have certain people that Amos was if he was anything, if he could have been anything, he would have been. And my sister tells me this. Because she saved everything from his Like he had like 10 O levels and A levels and all that kind of stuff. He was really.
He was clever.
Yeah, he was. And the thing with him, even as a kid, I'd be up there Saturday afternoon. The films are on. I'd be glued to the TV. He'd be asleep, out cold.
Right.
As soon as the film finished, as soon as the news came on, bam, he'd be awake, watching the news and see what's going on in the world. That you could time him like that. You know, that's how he was.
So you grew up in Abbeywood, Plumstead, Woolwich kind of area. How you at that point you supported Arsenal?
I didn't know about football.
Oh, you weren't interested?
No, not when I was young.
Okay.
My friends, when I kind of started doing the football thing, used to all go down to Millwall.
Right.
So Saturday afternoon, where are all my friends? They'll go to Millwall.
Right.
Come on, let's go to Millwall.
And this was what, mid-80s?
Early 80s.
Early 80s.
Yeah, this would have been, I'm going to say, 82, 83, around that time, 84 maybe.
Had the casual scene started at that point?
The casual scene, what clothing?
Clothing
I think, yeah.
It had, yeah.
Because also there was as far as music was concerned, it was like I was into the soul vibe.
Yeah.
You know, so you saw the wide shouldered jackets were all in. The going into clubs.
Yeah.
If you was going into a club and you weren't dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
You weren't getting in.
And what was the club, or what were the brands?
Oh God. The shiny suits, right? And I'm not talking about the mod shiny suits.
Is this like a northern soul thing?
A little bit,
Right.
because you wouldn't get into a club necessarily if you was wearing jeans. If you were wearing jeans and trainers, invariably you would not get into a club.
Right. So
if you went out, you had hard sole shoes, hard sole shoes, trousers like you wear.
Right.
If you went out and you had Farrah's,
was it Farrah? So it's Farrah slacks, yeah. But was that a school thing as well? Because everyone says I used to wear them to school. Farrah.
Some people did. The rich people did.
The rich people did.
Yeah, the rich people wore Farrah's to school. And I did at one time. I had a blue pair and a green pair of Farrah's. And one time I wore them to school, but I snuck them out of my bag.
Right.
Couldn't leave the house.
Right.
With Farrah's on.
Right.
School uniform. But one day I did.
Yeah.
I got out and I put them out on the street.
Right.
The green Farrah's.
So it's Farrah slacks.
Yes.
And then Gabechi tops.
Gabechi. But this is the thing. If you had a Gabechi top,
did you have to have a few quid?
You'd have to have money.
Right.
It
weren't no cheap brands at that point. Right.
No.
You had a few quid at that
point. There
point.
was a shop in Woolwich. I can't remember the name of the shop. For the life of me. But they used to do Farrah's, Gabechi's, the hunter jackets.
Yeah.
All that kind of clothes and the nice croc style shoes and all that. You look like sharp.
You look sharp, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So this was in mid-80s. Mid-80s, yeah.
Yeah.
But so when you were going down Millwall, what was you wearing when you were going down Millwall?
Me, I'd be in
donkey.
But
it was
maybe a donkey jacket.
It's a donkey jacket, yeah, because that was a fashion. At that point,
even the donkey jacket, yeah. But I remember my dad obviously worked on the building site, and he would get those. That's what they give them out.
That's what they were giving out, yeah.
Yeah.
So
my dad gave me a donkey jacket to wear as part of my school uniform.
Was it a thing then that they were giving the donkey jackets and people would go to football and they would come straight from work wearing their donkey jacket, go straight into the game? Or did it then turn into a fashion trend?
Lots of my friends were all into that fashion with the baggy jeans. They had baggy jeans that kind of went to a taper and they'd have the little turn up with it might have a not khaki, what's the tartan pattern on the bottom of the jeans sometimes?
Of the jeans, yeah.
Yeah, or it'd run down the side of the leg and all that.
Right.
That was kind of the fashion. You had, what else was there? Bloody hell. Yeah, the barber jackets.
Yeah.
And then If you had the really flash guys, they'd come there and they'd have the Burberry scarves, the Akascutum scarves, the Akascutum, the long Burberry Macs.
Yeah.
You know, they was the top boys.
And you'd have then. Did you wear the Burlington socks with the little stud on the side?
Oh, you had to be rich.
Right.
You have to pay. You have to have money to. Yeah, you have to have pay for that. Right. Yeah, no, that wasn't that. I wasn't in that bracket. No.
So
I wasn't in that bracket.
Was you ever fighting at football?
Yeah.
Oh, you was fighting at football.
Because that was the thing to do. It was just like you'd go to football.
Yeah.
I felt if I'm going to football, I'm going to go and fight.
Right.
And it weren't even. If you asked me about Millwall, the only thing I knew about Millwall, and I obviously know where the place is, but the only person I knew about Millwall was George Graham. And the only reason I know about George Graham is because later on he went and was the Arsenal manager.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell you who played for.
Oh, so you weren't a Millwall fan?
No,
you were going there with your pals.
Because my mates was going there, and I don't want to be left up on the block
so
on my own.
There was not going from fighting football and then going into actual fighting.
No,
that was no connection there whatsoever. No. There was no hunger for fighting.
No.
So how did you get into fighting then?
Into boxing.
Or any fighting. I know street fighting or whatever, but how did you get into
that?
Before you was boxing, you was.
I was doing kickboxing as well, but boxing was my actual first competitive sport.
Right.
That I did. My first competitive fighting sport, basically.
Right.
I tried karate. A friend of mine at school, he was into karate. Tried that. I enjoyed it, but it was too much stretching.
Right.
I wasn't really good at stretching at the time. So then I remember coming home from work one night, and I used to have a little black and white TV, 6-inch black and white TV, whatever. Put it on, and then I hear this name, Dave Stewart. So I know Dave Stewart, I know that name. And it's when boxing was on the BBC, but amateur boxing used to be on the BBC.
What was he, an amateur boxer?
Reg Gutteridge. Yeah, he was the ABAs.
Was he out of where you're from then?
Yes, he was in my school. I went to school with him.
Okay.
Right, so that's how I knew the name. But I didn't know it was him until I actually watched the fight.
Right.
So he won his fight on TV, and there's me going, yeah, that looked easy. That was actually me. Yeah, that looks easy. So I think that was on the Wednesday. I met him on the Saturday. We used to have a McDonald's, or there is still a McDonald's. It was the 3,000th McDonald's in the world, or in Britain, or wherever it was. But it was number 3,000.
Right.
So we had that in Woolwich. It's still there. So I met him. That used to be that McDonald's used to be a kind of. We used to come there and meet up, like all the guys meet up, playing our boom boxes and all this. And that used to be a place to be on the high street. I met Dave there. I said, Dave, I saw you box on TV. Look, I've got muscles, blah, blah, blah. I can fight, or I thought I could fight. So he said to me, look, I said, I can box. So he said, look, get yourself a gum shield. Meet me on the next Tuesday, and we'll go to the gym. Yeah. Went round, got myself a gum shield, met him the next week. Tuesday, walked up to the gym, got in the ring, and I say, whether he beat the crap out of me or he toyed with me, I could not lay a glove on him.
Right.
And it just got me hooked. I wanted to learn what he knew. I wanted to do this thing.
Was it like you wanted to show him that you could actually fight, or?
No, it weren't, because I couldn't do it.
You just couldn't do it?
I couldn't do it, so I wanted to learn how to do that.
Okay. So then, what did you do? Get a trainer?
No, it was at the gym. That was the amateur boxing gym. At St Peter's. St Peter's was the first and only amateur boxing gym that was in Woolwich, yeah.
And
so
what age were you there? About 18, 19?
I was 18, 19, yeah, about. I was 18, 19, yeah.
And what was you doing work-wise at this point?
I'm working on the building site.
You were still labouring on the building site?
Yeah, labouring on the building
site. So you're going from labouring on a building site, which are graft anyway, and then you're going down a boxing gym, doing a workout at a boxing gym, which ain't easy, right?
But it was easy back then because I used to look at work.
Yeah.
The work that I did, and I was only a labourer.
Yeah.
That used to be, as far as I was concerned, part of my training.
Right. Okay.
That was my mindset.
Right.
So if I had to shovel 3 tons of sand or 3 tons of gravel or whatever, I'll get my shirt off and start doing it.
Right.
That's a workout. So for me, all those, and then I was a hod carrier. So being a hod carrier, going up and down stairs and shoveling muck and all that, that was all part of my training as far as I was.
So 18, 19, you're absolutely ripped to fuck.
Yeah.
And now you want to start fighting as well. So you're going to be turned into a machine pretty
But
soon.
I didn't think I could fight. I still had to learn how to fight.
Right.
You know? And then
well, there's a lot of difference between being able to have a tear up and then learning how to box, ain't there?
yeah, yes, there is. But then I went to prison.
At what age?
19.
Okay.
So I came, I was 19 because when I came out in the October, I think, and then I got in trouble again, and then spent my 21st birthday or 20th birthday inside.
So what year is this? 1985?
Oh, this was, hold on.
86?
Yeah, 85, I think 85, yeah, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So then when you come out, did you think, right, I'm going to go back to the road? Or I'm going to be...
No, it weren't.
I'm going to be...
It weren't, you know, it weren't even that. It was like, because at that point in my life, I wasn't thinking about, I never had a thought about what am I going to do with my life. I'm 20, coming on 21. The world is in front of me. The world's my oyster as far as I'm concerned. I've got a little flat. I've got a couple of birds on the go or whatever. Working. Doing all these different things. But yes, I'm still getting in trouble. And then yes, I'm still fighting because by that time, I'd been stabbed. I'd had loads of fights, like fighting on the road. Plus, I'd started doing Kung Fu as well. Right. I did Tai Chi and Wushu as well. So...
Did you look in prison or out?
No, out.
Right.
When I was out. So, doing all these things, even not necessarily thinking I was a good fighter. And plus I was working, I used to have little jobs, working on doors, doing a bit of security and whatever.
So did you start doing that when you were like 20, 21?
I think I started really doing bouncing work at 18, 19 as well.
Okay, so it's a combination of loads of things. You're working on the door, you're learning how to box, and you're working on the door.
Yeah.
Right.
And you think at that time, I know in my head, I must have thought I was a chap.
Right. Well, at that point,
you
must have been a chap.
I don't know about that.
Right. So anyway, so you start thinking you're a chap. You've gone to prison.
Yeah.
You're out of prison now.
Yeah.
So where does it go then? You're just doing more door work.
I'm working on the doors, doing a bit of shotting as well, and loads of people around me. We're basically all doing a lot of the same things.
Right, you had a little team.
Yeah, there was. We had, and I have to mention. I will mention this. The Barnfield Massive.
Barnfield.
Barnfield.
The Barnfield Massive.
Barnfield, yeah. Barnfield was where a lot of my growing up was done. You know, the people
Your adult growing up.
My adult growing up, and I say my adult growing up. I'm saying from the age of 19, 20.
Right.
That's where a lot of my real life, my friends that I still have now today,
come from this particular
come from
area.
there, come from Barnfield, yeah. From that area, yeah. Barnfield, the Wall, the pub, you know. Yeah,
And then
there's a lot of good memories there.
And so, all your pals, were any of them boxing or anything? Or was it literally just you out of all your pals?
I think, yeah, really, I'm the only one that at that time was went into being and became a professional.
That's what I want to go around, because between you turning professional boxer, you were a kickboxer.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
how did that work out?
Well, because I was amateur boxing as well, so
Okay.
I do my amateur boxing.
Yeah.
Then I started doing the kung fu. Then I started training. I'd been inside. Now I'd been away, and I came out, and I didn't want to go back and be on the road again, and so I kind of took myself away and started training at a friend's gym, kickboxing. He had a gym. It was a weights gym. He had lots of. He had downstairs. He had another part of the gym where they had bags and all this kind of stuff. So I just would go down there. He'd let me just go down there and train for free. And I'd go down there and just be there on the bags, punching and kicking. And because I was doing the kung fu, plus I did a little bit of taekwondo.
Did you give up the boxing at this point?
No,
you're still boxing,
still amateur boxing as well,
and doing kung fu.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So all these, and I was playing football, and I was playing rugby as well. So I was doing all these.
How do you have time for all this and working at the same time?
It was just
That's what you were doing.
Yeah, because, and it wasn't a case of. I don't even think it was a case of, oh right, I've got to do this today and I've got to do that today, and eking time. You just did it.
Right.
You know, I just did it. Plus, I used to ride a road bike as well. So me and my best mate John, we used to always be uptown, just riding the bikes uptown and whatever. It used to be a thing to do.
So then you moved into, so at that point, you're doing it all, but how did it go from playing every sport, like rugby, football, you're boxing?
Then you have to,
how did you...
Then I had to whittle it down.
Right.
And I did, I whittled it down to, when I was playing rugby, so sometimes when I play rugby I've got ankle injuries.
Right.
So then that would keep me away from that. Then it got to the point where, when I was doing the taekwondo, I was learning taekwondo, but then I didn't feel that taekwondo was hard enough for me, as in fighting wise. So I went and really progressed and wanted to fight. So I was in the gym one day, this guy's gym, John, and a guy came down. He was just watching me. I didn't even realise it. I was doing. And he said to me, "Look, mate," he said, "Do you fancy fighting?" I said, "Fighting?" He said, "Yeah, I can get you some fights and you can earn some money." I was like, I looked at him like, "Yeah, he said, get me some fights and I can earn some money." I was like, "Yeah, all right then." And then he said, "All right, I'm going to train you." This was a guy named Andy Mayo. He said, "I'm going to train you," and he trained me for about 2 or 3 months. And then I had my first fight. We went over to my first kickboxing fight. We went over to France, somewhere in Paris, and I fought a guy.
So you'd never kickboxed before. You had 2 months training and went.
A couple of months training. But I could kick and I could punch and I felt I could fight.
Yeah.
I was all right. I didn't even. I was because I'd been boxing as well. You know, so my hands were pretty good. But I had to learn more.
Is it hard transitioning from boxing to kickboxing back to boxing? I'm thinking like...
It was when I became a professional fighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So amateurs, you get away with it.
Yeah, you can get away with it a lot more.
Right. So, but you've gone. Is it professional kickboxing?
Semi-professional, because I was getting paid. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I was getting paid. Or well, I don't know if it's pro, semi-pro, whatever. Yeah. I was getting paid. But so I had my first fight. Went to France. Fought a guy who was champion du monde. I don't know if he was actually champion or #1 contender. I lost to him on points, the guy, 5 rounds. And then, so that was maybe by the middle of the year, sort of like April, May, something like that. And then by the end of that year, that was 1990. By the end of 1990, I won the European title. So I had a few more fights.
So what are we talking about? 6 months?
6, 8 months, yeah, something like that.
So you won the European title at kickboxing in 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
Starting and learning the whole thing, and then
but I could fight. I could punch definitely because I'd been doing the boxing.
So, but was there no point carrying on with that career then? In kickboxing?
No, because that was 1990. So as far as the kickboxing was concerned, I had a few more fights kickboxing because I defended my title a couple of times. But I was still amateur boxing as well.
Was it just not getting? There was just not enough money.
It wasn't. And this is the thing with the kickboxing. It wasn't even a case of me saying, "Oh, I'm European champion. I should be getting this much." I didn't know anything about.
Right. You didn't know how much it was worth.
Nah, I didn't know how much it was worth. It was just the fact that I could. Especially when I went to Germany and won the title, and then I come back and I got this big trophy and a belt. And I think maybe if I was lucky, I got 500 quid.
Did you have an audience? Was all your pals coming to watch you? Was they flying?
Not necessarily with the kickboxing.
No.
Not necessarily with the kickboxing.
Is it just one of them sports that it just can't command the same crowd as?
No, definitely not. Definitely not then. It never did.
Right. Okay.
You know, and
would it now though?
The other side of it as well is that 1990. My trainer Andy, he'd obviously got wind of the UFC was just starting out as well.
Okay.
So, but that was an American thing, but we was talking more about going over to Japan because they had I think it might have been something like the one tournament what they have now, where all these different kind of kickboxing martial arts type fighters.
What was this all mixed martial arts?
Yeah, right. Yeah. They had their kind of thing over in Japan.
Right.
And we was thinking about going over that on that side of it.
Right.
We never heard about the UFC.
Okay.
But it started in 1990 as well.
So you're European champion.
Yeah.
And then you transition back to boxing.
Yeah. And I've defended my title a couple of times, and then I'm still amateur boxing. So I'm amateur boxing. I'm fighting in the ABAs, right? So it's the amateur boxing. So 91, 92, I think, 91, 92 season, I lose in the Southeast Divs. 92, 90, I think, was it, or the other way around? But I fought 3 times in the amateurs, and lost in the Southeast Divs, won the Southeast Divs, but lost in the London finals. And then won the Southeast Divs, won the London finals in the next year, and this is 93, and then got chucked out of the ABAs because I did unlicensed boxing as well. So unlicensed boxing was another way for me to make a little bit of money as well.
And at the same time you're doing the door work?
Yes.
Right. So when did you turn pro? Or is that the next step?
93,
Or is that the next step?
When the ABA said I couldn't fight and go on to, because I won the London title, won the Southeast Divs, won the London title, and then I was meant to go to the next stage, which was the regional finals.
Right.
I should have gone to regionals, but they found out I did unlicensed boxing.
Right.
And because I did unlicensed boxing, and they said I got paid and whatever, then they slung me out. They slung me out of the ABA. I couldn't compete.
So, and was you like banned then?
Well, they do. They take away your card.
How did you go back then to becoming professional?
Yeah. So then it was a case of I had another friend of mine who was a professional boxer. He was actually managed by Frank Maloney.
Okay.
So I used to sometimes go to the gym with him and train and whatever, and then he kind of pushed, and my amateur trainer pushed for me to meet Frank.
Right.
And then I didn't get a signing on fee or anything like that, but he said, "Oh," and then
he took you on.
Signed with me, yeah.
As a amateur.
As a pro fighter.
Right.
So I signed a pro contract with him.
Right. Gotcha. So when you're a pro boxer, you can't do the door work, or were you still doing it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you were still doing
it?
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah. That was, I think, up until up until I was a Southern Area champion, and then I think
What
by the
about
time
96?
by the
Southern
time
Area champion?
no, I'd won the Southern Area. I think I'd won the Southern Area title in '95. I think.
Right.
Yeah, I think '95. But the thing was with me, because I had my first 6 fights as a pro. I had my first 6 fights. I'd been over to America also and sparred with Lennox Lewis. So I got to spar with some quite, like reputable guys, And then after my first 6 fights, I was winning. On my 7th fight, I lost. I lost to John Ruiz, John Ruiz went on to become the first Hispanic world champion.
Right.
So I'd lost to him. But what I was doing again, I was working and training.
Right.
So what I then had to say to myself, do I want to be a pro fighter and get what I wanted out of it? And I always said, when I turned pro, I always said my goal was to become British champion. I wanted to become British champion. Because I couldn't become British champion as an amateur,
right.
I wanted it as a pro.
Right.
So, after my 7th fight, I'd lost, and I was working and training. So I had to make the decision to stop work. So all I did then was sometimes on the weekend might do a bit of door work still, but the rest of the week I was in the gym. I had to, and it was hard. I wasn't earning money.
Was that how you learnt to hold back then? Because you can't be a professional boxer and a doorman, bash someone right up, and then because you've got to hold back at some point, ain't you? You must do.
Yeah, you do. But then I suppose I was lucky.
So if you bash someone up on a door and you're a professional boxer, you can have your taken away.
I'll get my license taken away and then I'll obviously end up in prison.
Right.
That's now. That's definitely now.
Was it much different back then?
I think it was a lot different then, because you never had the SIA.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't have the SIA looking at you, the SIA checking up on your background or anything, background checks and all this. So I could have got a job basically anywhere, going right. My name is Julius Francis. I've worked here, right, and maybe I don't know if a lot of people knew my name, but maybe knew my reputation. I was kind of a little bit. I don't know if I could say I was a bit fierce or whatever.
Right. That was on the door.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you went, you kept on moving up the ranks in the boxing world. So your 7th fight, you lost to John Ruiz.
Yeah.
What did you do then?
I gave up work, and like I say, I just gave up work and wanted to concentrate on my boxing career, because I said I wanted what I wanted.
How long did it take you to get to the point of having a British title fight?
For me turning pro, so I turned pro in '93, and then I won the British title in '97. I won the British title in '97.
Who'd you beat?
1997. I beat a guy named Gary Delaney.
But
it wasn't. It seems. I make it sound kind of straightforward, but it wasn't straightforward, because I'd had not quite a few losses, but I'd had losses in between that as well.
Okay. Right.
I'd been kind of abroad and fought, and it wasn't a complete just get up and go type thing.
So by the time you've won your British title, which is 1997, you've been a professional boxer for a few years. 4 years now, right? Then who was you fighting? You were fighting household names at this point.
No, I don't know about fighting household names. I think maybe on the British scene, the guys I'd fought on the British scene. When I won the title, when I won the British title, I fought a guy named Gary Delaney.
Yeah.
Gary had previously fought for a world title at cruiserweight.
Okay.
So, and he was a good fighter. When I was an amateur fighter still in 1992, I was still an amateur, and I went over to Barry Hearn's gym that was over in Romford at the time, and I got to spar with Gary, Herbie Hyde, Scott Welsh was around at the time.
Yeah.
And the first guy who I had my very first professional fight with, a guy named Graham Arnold. He was in the gym at the time as a sparring partner. So I used to spar with those guys, and Herbie was the name. He was the big name at the time. Herbie was great to spar with because we just got into it. You know, I love sparring with Herbie. I hated sparring with Gary because he had a fantastic left hook. Left hook to the head, left hook to the body, great. And he'd hurt you with it.
Right.
Scott, I didn't like sparring with Scott because he was tough. Scott was like a rugby player. He was built like a rugby player.
Right.
You know, tough.
Yeah.
Tough kid, you know what I mean?
Well, they can take a beating as well,
yeah. He was tough. And he used to wave his right hand. Before he threw, he used to wave it, bam, and then hit you with it. I don't know, where the fuck's that come from? You know what I mean? Yeah, so it was it was learning, a good learning curve, you know what I mean?
So then you went from winning the European title
Kickboxing.
at kickboxing,
Yeah.
Then within 4 years you'd won the British
title. Something here in the British title.
And then what do we do?
And then up and down. I went to in '97. '97 was kind of a good year because I'd won the Commonwealth title and the British title.
Right.
Then I went. It slowed down. '98. I went to Germany a couple of times and fought Klitschko, Klitschko. And
Which one did you fight?
Vitali.
Right.
And then I had a European title shot against Axel Schultz, who was German champion. And I think Axel, I'm not sure if he won a world title or I think he did. He won a world title. So he was one of the guys I thought was who won a world title. So I lost to I didn't think I lost. I thought I beat him up. I was like, if he put us together after the fight, he looked like he'd been in a car crash, and I looked like I'd just come out of the shower.
So this was around 2000?
No, this was 98.
Right, okay.
Yeah, 98. 99 now, coming into 99. Unfortunately, I'd lost my best friend, John Williams. So
was he
98.
Also a boxer?
No, he got me kind of into the kung fu.
Okay.
Yeah, he kind of got me into the kung fu, but he was my best friend. And then, unfortunately, he passed.
Another traumatic time.
Yeah. And that was at the end of '98. He passed in '98. So '99, coming into '99, was when I had the '99. I can't remember. Was it January? I think it was January '99 that I had to fight my first defence of the British title.
Who was that against?
So that was against a guy named Pele Reid.
Pele Reid, yeah.
So Pele Reid, backstory.
Did he ever win a world title?
No.
Right.
No. But Pele Reid was a kickboxing world champion.
Okay.
So when I won the European title kickboxing, there's me thinking, I'm gonna get. There was a magazine called Combat Magazine. There's me thinking, they're gonna feature me in combat, blah blah blah. I'd got a little paragraph in there, Julius Francis or whatever. Pele Reid's got the front cover.
Okay.
Because he was, I don't know if he was a points fighter, but he was world champion anyway.
Right.
But he got the front cover. He was on the front cover of this magazine, and it just pissed me off. Not knowing, years later, obviously, that I was going to meet him as a boxer. Yeah. So he was my first defence. He'd been in there. He'd had 13 fights, 13 wins, 13 KOs, knocking out everybody. He was impressive. We looked at him as a specimen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Strong, whatever. That was my first defence.
When you, as I asked you earlier, was it difficult when you turned pro, and you'd obviously been a kickboxer? Do you think the same thing for Pele Reid? He was a specimen. He was world champion kickboxer. do you think it hindered him being a kickboxer and then going to be a pro boxer?
I don't know. I can't really talk for him because he used to have his style. So
Right.
he'd come into the ring, he'd do his high kicks, he'd do the full box splits,
Right.
get down and do the full box splits. So he was more into that side of the fast hands and fast feet.
Right.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But he was he was from the Brendan Ingle camp.
Okay.
So the Brendan Ingle camp at the time, they were all for that flashy stuff because you had lots of good fighters come from there.
Right.
Johnny Nelson was from there, the same. What's his name? His name's gone out of my head.
So what are they like, the big entrances then?
Yeah, the big entrances.
Yeah, a lot of
very
theatrics.
flashy. Yeah. Errol Graham was from there.
Right.
Some very, very good fighters.
Yeah.
Very good fighters from Brendan's gym. But I just felt, especially going into the fight, I just felt that I'm British champion. You're not meant to be anywhere near my British title.
Right.
Because and as I felt kind of disrespected because he was had 13 fights. One thing I learned just prior to the fight was that at the time, Brendan Ingle's fighters never took, when they sparred, they never took headshots.
Right.
They always worked body shots. So that was a quick switch for me. If he don't get it in the gym to the head, how's he going to cope? Getting it in a fight. So that was one of my game plans. The first round of the fight, he come in and believe me when I say he hit me with everything.
Yeah.
He come in that was like getting fucking a handful of rice chucked to me. He hit me with everything.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
Fast hands, strong, very, very strong, very strong. He hit me and I saw birds and stars.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you beat him though?
I stopped him in the third round.
You stopped him in the third round?
Yeah.
Right.
So that was my first defence of the British title. Then the second defence was against Danny Williams.
Right.
Who again was unbeaten.
How many times did you fight Danny Williams?
Twice.
Right.
Yeah, I fought Danny twice. He was unbeaten. Me and Danny used to spar quite regular. Maybe about a year before up until about a year before the fight.
Right.
So we was always in the gym. And the thing with Danny, what I say now is Danny used to put everything into the sparring. When we used to spar, he used to put everything into it. He'd hurt me, he'd come in there, he'd do everything. But one time we were sparring, I remember one time we were sparring and he caught me with a good shot and he stunned me. He had me gone, me rocked. And I couldn't let him get away with it. So the next round, he come out and I hit him with I can't remember, it was a left hook or a straight right hand or whatever, and I knocked him down. And it was only the fact that I couldn't let him get away with that at the time. And I'm years older than Danny.
Right.
So and I had to, and I was champion as well. I must have been British champion at the time. And having the title, but yeah, I couldn't let this young upstart, to try and.
Was there any needle between people you were sparring with,
plenty of time.
and then take it to the fight that you're going
to the fight?
Because you see it in boxing, it's built up for ages. That fighters don't like each other. That wasn't really with you.
Not really. There's only one or two times I ever got with guys and sparred with guys that I ever wanted to see them outside the gym.
Right.
Only a couple of times, and then after whatever, you just let it wash away. It's kind of like the business that we're in.
So you defended the British title.
Yeah. Then
couple times.
So I beat Danny. The next fight I beat Danny. Then the next fight after that was Scott Welsh.
Okay.
I had to fight Scott Welsh again.
Who you was also training with at a certain point, right?
But Scott had beaten me a few years earlier.
Okay.
For my Southern Area title.
Okay.
and it was for my Southern Area title and an eliminator for the British title.
Okay.
So he beat me for that. Scott actually did me a favour because Scott's next fight was against a guy named James Oyabola. Right. Who James Oyabola at the time, he was the tallest, biggest heavyweight in England at the time. 6'9" of the big James was. Scott had beaten me, then he's got the fight with James. They went over to America and fought over in, I think it was Atlantic City they fought. But Scott ended up losing the fight, but he got his jaw broken.
Right.
Like James was the first time I'd ever seen James, I came into the gym one day, my trainer, I was training in the Thomas à Becket.
Where's that?
On Old Kent Road.
Okay.
Used to be the pub where we used to train.
Right.
Upstairs above the pub. So James, I walked into the gym and I can hear boom, boom, boom on his bag. I looked in the gym and I've seen this guy just absolutely tearing holes in his bag. And my trainer Dean at the time, he said, there's your next sparring partner over there. And I looked at him, I was like, I'm not getting in that. Are you mad?
Was he a specimen as well?
Yeah, he was like 6'9",
massive,
built like fucking, he was. Yeah.
Proper unit.
Yeah, he was. Unfortunately, James got murdered.
Oh, fuck.
You know? Yeah, and I'll say this about James. He looked an absolute monster. But he was one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
Oh, really?
Such a gentle, he was a gentle giant. A proper gentle giant.
Right.
If you heard him talk, he had this deep voice, but such a gentleman. Such a gentleman. You know? He really was. And you know, unfortunately he got murdered.
Did he get murdered as when he was fighting?
No.
Long time
after.
You
know when they brought in the no smoking inside venues, inside clubs?
Yeah, when was that? Probably 2006
It might have been 2006
or so? 2005, 2006?
Was it? I mean,
might have been before that.
Yeah, I think it might have been before that. It must have been before that. But yeah, so he was at a nightclub or a venue, not working. He wasn't working. He used to do the doors, but he wasn't working. And the guy smoking inside the venue. The owner of the place, this is how it goes, this is how I was told. The owner of the place asked him, like, can you have a word with that guy? Just say can't smoke in the venue. Sorry, boss, I was waiting him to go away and come back and shot him.
No way.
Yeah.
And where was that, in London?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Terrible. Just for the sake of, you know,
asking him not to smoke in the
just
place.
Not to smoke.
Which now you would, well,
yeah.
Many people even
They
attempt it anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's right.
So and then the geezer walked out, come back and shot him for it.
Yeah. Horrible. It was sad, very sad. That was.
And that was that was well after his boxing though.
He finished his career because I actually fought James. Was actually before I fought for the European title the first time. I'd actually fought James in the defence of my Southern Area title. So I was actually James's last professional fight.
Oh, was you?
Yeah.
You got on well with him though?
Yeah, he was a diamond. He was a diamond.
So when you then went into you'd fought for the European title at that point?
Yes, I fought for the European title. Lost against a guy named Željko Mavrovic. Željko Mavrovic went on to fight Lennox Lewis for the world title, and apparently after the fight, Lennox said he was one of the hardest fights he's ever had.
Right.
With Željko, and I trained with Željko.
Yeah.
He was from Croatia.
Okay.
I trained with him, and then I fought him a couple of years later. An absolute beast.
Was he?
Yeah, training regime was just something else.
Right.
I'd never keep up with him.
Right.
I'd never keep up with him. He was just.
So, but you lost to him.
I lost to him. Yeah.
Did you ever? Yeah. Did you go again for the European title?
I fought again later on against a guy named Senin Samuel-Sam.
For the European title.
For the European title, who was.
Where's he from then?
Oh God, he's from Turkey.
Right.
The Turkish bull they called him. Good fighter, tough.
Beat him?
The Turkish bull. No, he stopped me in, I think, about 8 rounds.
Right.
Yeah, 8 rounds.
So
He stopped me with a body shot in 8 rounds. Horrible gun.
So fast forward a bit. You've had, how many fights did you have?
I think my career was about 50. I think I did 50, 48, 49.
So
50, something like that.
So at this point, I'm guessing this is around about the 2000 mark.
No.
Later?
Did I fight for the European title after or before? Oh, it might have been after. I don't know, because 99, anyway, so I'd won all the fights in 99.
Yeah.
99, like I said about with, so I'd fought Pele, Danny and Scott.
Yeah.
I fought those 3 fights within the space of 6 months. Might have been even 5 months, but within the space of 6 months, I fought those 3 guys.
Yeah.
Then was waiting, didn't know what I was going to be doing later on that year, and then towards the end of the year, I was getting ready for a fight. Again, another defence of the British and Commonwealth titles.
Right.
Against another guy that I'd known very well, a guy named Harry Senior.
What was his name?
Harry Senior.
Harry
Yeah.
Senior.
And it's crazy enough. I lived in Woolwich. He lived in Cheltenham, which is obviously the next town over. But we were friends.
And you knew
well.
so outside boxing, you were
outside,
friends.
yeah.
Right.
So and then towards the end of the year, that same year, 99, my daughter was being due to be born in November, and then there was rumours or there was talk about Tyson coming over.
Because that was my next question. So
yeah.
What was the build up to that then?
Well, that was it. There was rumours that he was coming over, and I had no idea that it was going to be me.
When did he get out of jail?
Oh, God, he'd been out of jail before then, because before he came over, he'd already had the fight with Holyfield.
Did he come out and
the 2 fights with Holyfield?
Did he? What before he
fought me? Yeah.
Did he come out and then had like a couple of warm up matches?
He came out
and Holyfield.
He came out and he had the fight with a guy named McNeely. No. Was it Andrew McNeely or something like that? Yeah. So that was his first fight when he came out. Then he fought. I think he fought a guy named. What was his name? Orly Norris. It might have been Orly Norris, and then.
Was Andrew McNeely the geezer with like the blonde-haired geezer?
No, dark-haired fella.
Right, who was the blonde-haired geezer then? Who's like
Tommy Morrison.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was.
Did he fight him?
No,
he didn't fight him.
No, Tommy Morrison he'd either passed already.
Right.
Yeah, he might have just passed. Tommy Morrison.
So Tyson's come out. He's had a couple of fights. He's then fought Holyfield.
Yeah.
He shaved his ear off.
Yeah, lost against Holyfield. Yeah.
And then did he fight in the next match? Was it against Holyfield again, or did he have another one?
Yeah, I think. Did he fought Holyfield twice, didn't he? He fought Holyfield twice. First one, the first one Holyfield beat him properly.
Right.
That was the one, and then the second fight is the ear bite.
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Then after that, he was banned for a year or so, and then he had the fight with, I think in '99 he had the fight with Franz Bofer.
Okay.
And tried to break Franz Bofer's arm. That's what he said.
That was it. Yeah, that
tried
was
to break his arm.
Yeah.
So that was '99. So I actually did commentary on that fight.
So was you in the next fight then?
No, I had no idea. But people were saying, "Oh, like you could fight Tyson, blah blah blah." But I was, as far as I'm concerned, Tyson's not going to be coming to England. He's not going. I didn't know whether he's coming to England or not. But as far as I was concerned, I'm getting ready for my next defence of my title. So no idea that he was coming.
So what was the story of him coming to England? Did he like a tour type thing?
Well, that's what I heard, that he was going to go on a European tour.
Right.
He was going to go on a European tour.
So was he banned just from
boxing,
from fighting in America? Then?
I wouldn't say he was banned, but I think that they had kind of just said, look, get him out of the public eye, get him away from over here, take him, because he was like maybe he was having issues with his documented mental health, and obviously the controversy in the fights that he was having. So yeah, and then it was a case of I had my 3 fights, and then it was a case of, well, Julius, look, no, not even Julius. Me and my trainer Mark, my trainer Mark Rowe, we were actually looking to maybe go over to South Africa, because there was talk. I wasn't with my manager. I was with my manager only by a handshake. I wasn't contracted. I didn't have a contract.
Frank Maloney.
Yeah, right. I didn't have a contract, no. But I knew Frank. Obviously, Frank had been my manager from the get-go.
Right.
But as far as I was concerned, my deal with you was on a handshake. There was nothing that was in the pipeline for us.
So were you like sorting out your own fights then?
Basically, we was looking to. That's what we was looking
Right,
to
so
do.
you and your trainer were sorting out your own fights.
Yeah. So we was looking to go. Maybe if there was something in Saudi, maybe if there was something in South Africa, because that's what there was rumblings, whatever. And by then, obviously, I'd had my 3 defences of the British title. I became outright holder of the Lonsdale belt. So whether my name was up in lights or whatever, or people knew about me, I wasn't really worldly aware of that, you know. And then towards the end of the year,
who was Lennox with at this point in time?
Lennox had. Well, I think Lennox in '99. I think did Lennox fight Holyfield?
Was Frank Maloney Lennox's?
Yes, he was Lennox's manager. Yeah.
So did they approach Frank to see if
I don't know.
How did this Tyson fight?
I never. For me,
yeah,
personally, I just got this. What did I get? I didn't even get a call. Maybe Frank had called me to say he was coming round to my house. So he came round. He said, "Look, there's talk about Tyson coming to England. Would you fight him? If you got the opportunity, would you fight? Yeah, of course I would." It didn't take me 2 seconds to say yes. And I didn't. People asked me, "Oh, didn't you ask about money?" No.
You just wanted to fight him.
If that's the biggest name in the game.
Because you told me before that you was a Tyson fan.
Yes, of course.
You was a fan of his, yeah.
Yes.
So
watching him fight and win the world title in '86, me and my best friend John watched the fight in his place, and John said to me, "You could fight that guy." I was like, "John," and this is 1986, so I'm not even nowhere near boxing per se. I was still an amateur boxer. I hadn't done anything in the game. I'm a million miles. We're on different planets.
And is he older than you, or you older than him?
I'm older than Tyson.
Right. So
I think I'm 3 years older.
He was a force of nature, though, wasn't he?
He was,
at
different.
that point. He was yeah. So
definitely.
So when he's coming, so Frank Maloney comes to you and says, "Listen, do you want to fight him?" And you're like, "Yeah, of course I do. Yeah, I want to get in the ring with him."
Yes.
And he doesn't talk to you about dough. He doesn't talk about any of that.
No.
But there's a whirlwind about Tyson coming to England.
Yeah.
So when he comes to England, he goes and does a tour of everywhere, and he goes to.
But before then, Tyson had been in England, so in a way, me and Tyson were destined to meet, because when I was inside when he first came to England. He was over here in, I don't know, 85, 86, 87, something like that, I don't know. But when he came over and he was in New Cross.
Yeah.
He partied, some mates of mine from New Cross had partied with him. They got photographs of him. They had back in the day. So I think there's somewhere along the line our paths
You were destined to meet.
Yeah.
So he comes to England. He goes to Brixton.
Yeah.
And everyone's then saying,
no.
Because
when he's in Brixton, when he comes to Brixton,
yeah,
that's when he's coming over to fight me.
Okay, but
he's in Brixton. I'm in Aldershot. I was in Aldershot.
You was out of the way.
Yeah.
Right? But weren't there a thing like he's come to your manor and he's like that? No, well, it was made out like that in the press.
You know what? I never saw a lot of press, and I really couldn't have given a fuck.
No.
Because whatever they're talking in the press, they're not getting in the ring at the end of the day. And I'll say this, and I think I've said this before. If I wasn't fighting Tyson, I'm a fan.
You'd have gone to see him yourself?
Yes.
Right.
I'm a fan. So he's coming into the manor.
Mm.
Why not try and get a look?
100%.
Try and not get to see him.
So he goes to Brixton. There's a lot of fanfare going around. You're well out of the way now. You're down in Aldershot. You're training, so you don't obviously bump into him.
No.
Press conference before the fight.
Yes.
Is there a lot of?
There was and there's this story. When I was in Aldershot, my training camp is in Aldershot. Done everything down there, locked away, whatever. We drive from Aldershot. So our camp breaks, we drive from Aldershot up to Manchester on obviously the week of the fight.
Is it the Manchester Arena, yeah?
The Manchester, MEN.
Right, yeah.
So we drive up there. We've got a 16-seater minibus. We're driving up there. We stop at service stations. I couldn't tell you where it was. I was oblivious. But Tyson's team are in the same service station.
Right.
So my team and their team nearly get into a scrap. Yeah, that's what they told me.
So you go to the press conference.
Get to Manchester now. So we get to Manchester, get out of the minibus, walk round the corner. So imagine we parking here, walk round the corner there, and like there's 3,000 people.
Right.
We're parked, unbeknownst to me, behind the hotel where Tyson's staying.
Right.
I walk round the corner. Someone's going, oh, look, there's Julius Francis. So it goes mad. Unbeknownst to me, behind me up there is Mike Tyson in the window, in his balcony window or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I have no clue.
Right.
I have no clue about this. So now everybody's trying to touch me. Julius, it's getting a bit hairy. There's a police van. My guys get me to this police van, put me on the step of the police van, and then, but it's getting hairy, so I get hoisted on top of the van. So there's a picture, someone's got a picture of me standing on top of this police van.
Right.
And Tyson's up there, I'm on top of the police, and it looks like I'm actually calling him out.
Okay, right.
Yeah, but I'm not, I'm oblivious.
Yeah.
Absolutely oblivious to whatever was going on there.
So
I had no idea.
So at the press conference,
yeah,
he's not, because he's obviously feisty in a lot of press conferences, but a lot of time he's subdued.
Yeah.
He just sits there and whatever. He doesn't have to say too much. He's Mike Tyson at the end of the day, and then sometimes he just goes crazy. With you, what was he like?
The same. He was just he came in. Crocodile was his cheerleader man, making all this noise, blah blah blah, and he's coming from my left. He's coming from my left. So, and I'm thinking, in my head, I'm thinking, right, so he's coming to walking towards the stage. We've got the lower table, top table with the principals on the table or whatever. And as he's coming up the stairs to get onto the stage, and I'm thinking, right now, if I'm sitting down when he comes up on stage, I've lost. Because he's going to be standing over me, looking down on me. You know, and that's never going to happen. As far as I'm concerned. So I get up, and I stand, I've got my headphones on, got my cap on, headphones on, glasses, whatever. And I get up and I just make myself as big as possible. Because I'm not scared. And all the time during camp, Frank Maloney's saying, when he used to come down to camp about 3 or 4 times a week, like watch sparring and whatever. And all through camp he's going, oh, Tyson does this. and Tyson does that, and he's done this to someone, he's done this to this person, blah blah blah. And in my head, I'm going. By the time camp breaks, I'm saying I do not want to hear that Mike Tyson's name. I hate that name. You know, it was like that in my head. So I'm thinking, if he says anything like, and he's disrespectful to me or whatever, we're gonna kick off on stage because that's how I was. You know what I mean? Just wound up like that. Yeah. And then he comes up, and I don't think we shake hands. We didn't shake hands or anything, and I think it was just a polite nod, and that was it.
Right.
You know, but I was kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
To fight because of the way I've been wound up. You know, but he was just humble and cordial, and I think it was. I don't think we said anything to each other, but it was just a polite nod.
So then you go on the night of the fight. You go
night of the fight, or the day of the fight. No, and then the day of the fight, I'm going right now. I need a haircut, shaving haircut. So we go. My guys find a place where I can go and get a shaving haircut, blah blah blah, and then what I normally do is I would normally an hour or so before, or a couple of hours before, I just like to go to sleep, chill. So I'm in my hotel room just chilling, want to watch TV, play the games or whatever. Frank comes up and says, "Oh look, you're going to Old Trafford." I'm like, "Frank, why the fuck do I want to go to Old Trafford? Why am I going to Old Trafford? I don't want to go out. Really don't want. But this is a coup. So go to Old Trafford. Just come on, just get ready." So I go to Old Trafford. I'm up there.
United playing?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I think they might have been playing Newcastle, so I don't know who they're playing. But we're up there, and I'm sitting with the dignitaries and whatever, and then I'll get called down to go onto the pitch, and it might have been raining, but the pitch was kind of soggy and wet, and I'm wearing trainers. So they're saying, "Right now, you've got to go out to the centre, pick a number, and then come back." That's it. So I'm thinking to myself, fucking hell, if I slip now,
I'm
fucked.
Right.
Absolutely, I'm going to be absolutely done. So go out there, it's grass is kind of, so jog out, a little bit of fast walk, jog, pick a number, come back. Everything goes. But as I step my foot over the touchline, this roar comes up. This roar is like 60,000 people or whatever it is. And I took a glance up and just feeling it and seeing it's fucking...
They're cheering for you.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Whether they're cheering for me or whether they're not.
Oh, you're fighting in Manchester.
Yes,
later on that
as far as I'm concerned. But that roar, it goes right through. It's something that goes right through. You can feel it go right through. It
gives your head standing on there now.
100%. And I'm thinking, fuck it. And in my head, I'm going, how do they do this every week? How do footballers do this every week? Week in, week out. It's fucking crazy.
Mad.
But now, so do that. Get to the MEN.
Yeah.
23,000 people. I'm like, I'm in my front room.
Right, it was sweet.
So it didn't faze me. Yeah, it weren't a thing.
So right.
So that was a coup by Frank, which was very good. And not having that understanding.
So what's the story with the soles of the feet?
So I'm getting ready. Like, obviously, I'm getting ready for the fight. I haven't got no boots. My boots have worn out. My daughter's mum is she was doing some of the promotional stuff.
Yeah.
She and the rest of the team, that was their decision. Nothing to do with me.
Was it good money though?
Yeah, they paid me.
Oh, it was worth doing it. Well,
it was worth doing, but some people said no, I wouldn't have done it. Because the first thing that they said, which I thought was even more like crass, if I can use that word, is they wanted to put on the bum of my shorts.
Right.
And I was like, no, why would I Why would I want it on the fucking bum of my shoes? So I'm saying to myself, well, I know that my toes are not going to be facing upwards.
Yeah, it don't make no difference.
Yeah, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Alright, if that's what you want to do, fuck it. Do it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And you got
paid.
You got chunked out of
Yeah.
it. So,
not as much as I'd like, but
well.
or no, yes, can I say that? No, they paid me. Yeah, they paid me. Fuck it.
They paid you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, going into the fight, right? You got your sponsorship deal. that was your sponsorship deal.
I just thought it was money for the fight, change, whatever it was. Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
and then you're obviously fighting Tyson.
Yeah.
Now, what's the story when you're walking in the ring? Did you come in first or did he come in?
I came in first. I had the drummers from Aldershot drum me in. The army guys drum me in.
Yeah.
And then Mickey Finn,
your pal,
obviously a good friend of mine. He had remixed Bo Selector for me.
Right. Yeah.
Right. He got permission to do that. So he'd remixed Bo Selector. So that was Julius Francis.
Yeah.
When the crowd says Bo Selector. So
yeah. That's cool.
That was and I remember walking to the ring and just feel I was on top of the world.
Right.
No one could have told me that I was going to lose.